Mr. Vice President, this is Tim Boyum in Raleigh. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you, Tim. How are you, pal? Good to see you. Still got your bow tie?
Yes, sir.
I like any man that can tie his own bow tie, I tell you.
We turn now to downtown Raleigh, where our Spectrum News anchor Tim Boyum is on the ground there. Tim, exactly where are you and what are you seeing?
Rob, we are at Davie Street and Fayetteville Street, and just in the last few minutes, we've seen someone down here smash in the windows of Ray's Hair Shop. There's the business next to it as well is also smashed in at this point. There is no one inside the businesses, but the windows are smashed in on either side. The police have allowed them to go ahead and march. And so they will go ahead and march, but when it gets too close in the corners here, that's when they start stopping this and we'll start throwing things. All right, we're going to back off. Mark, let's go ahead and back off. The police are coming. This is what happens when people they're throwing stuff at the police, and then the police will start coming. We're going to back up here, too, to be safe, to get on the outside of this. We are on the outside of where all these protesters are right now. There you just see a sign go down right there.
We're actually going to go back to our Tim Boyum right now. He is back out live in Raleigh. Tim, are you okay, Tim? You were a little coughing. You were affected by that tear gas, I think, the last time we checked in with you. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're good, thank you. We rubbed some water in our eyes and our nose and our mouth. We're doing pretty good right now. We are back onto Salisbury Street now, so we're basically just one block over. This is the Wake County Justice Center right there, and this is the City of Raleigh bus that has been stopped. And you can see right there, the window has been smashed in. The driver is still inside the bus right now, standing there, and you can see a line of police officers, and just on the other side of the police officers, who are, by the way, lined up two deep, back to back, to protect both sides of the bus here, and the driver that is inside that bus at this moment, and the protesters on the other side.
Did you actually see what happened to that bus, Tim?
My assumption is here because the Wake County Justice Center and the jail is right over to camera right from us, and there has been a group there all night long, and cars have had a hard time going down the street here, and the gathering probably just stopped the bus just naturally because of the amount of people that were in the street. There you see the driver sitting there right now inside that bus. These are sheriff's deputies out here in their tactical gear. And they have been here for most of the night throughout this part. It was just around the corner where I saw the Wake County Sheriff come out because people were taking signs and trying to smash the windows of the Justice Center. And there was something that was just thrown at the building. Mark, be prepared to back up if necessary. This, again, is one of those instances. Everything seems to stay calm until something is thrown either at police or near them. Okay, we're going to back up here a little bit. This is what happens when this starts happening. Mark, back up. Mark, they're throwing it. They're throwing it, Mark. All right, so we're going to stay on here. We're good. We're moving fast. Oh. Okay, we're good, Rob. We're good. Sheriff's deputies probably threw 3 to 4 tear gas canisters, and in a second, that place is empty. That bus, by the way, Mark, can you get down there? Look down the street. There is that bus exiting through the tear gas on Salisbury Street in downtown Raleigh with a broken window and, no question about it, a terrified driver inside that Raleigh City bus.
All right, let's go back now to Raleigh. Our Tim Boyum joining us from near a business or inside a business. Tim, where are you?
Yeah, Rob, we're inside the Stop and Shop. We're on Wilmington Street here in downtown Raleigh. This store has been ransacked. I mean, take a look here. You can see the ATM machines been tossed aside. That right there is a safe that someone tried to pull, and they got it probably about 10, 12 feet from where it was. And you can see this was just ransacked. And right now with us is the owner, Mohammed. I can see it in your eyes, man. How are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. Thanks God I'm safe. But it's crazy out here, man. I mean, it was really hard for us to build the store. We just opened. I've been working for 7 years, saving my money, and that's what happened to me. I tried to open it for the community, you know, helping people, be fair prices, make friends, and they really just take advantage of a peaceful protesting, and they just turn it to some gang members and stuff, and they just start stealing.
Are you scared at all?
I'm not scared, but I feel like it's safer because there is thousands of people out there. If I'm gonna argue with one, they're gonna think I'm against them all, and they're all gonna turn on me, and then I'll be scared, you know. I have family to take care of, more important than arguing with crazy people.
Man, our thoughts are with you. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I appreciate it.
I wish I had some drink for you guys, but
you don't need to worry about us. You worry about yourself and your family. Thank you so much. And so, Rob, this is just one example of what we are seeing in downtown Raleigh tonight, the destruction of not only personal property, but as you just heard now, dreams as well.
Spectrum News Capital Tonight anchor Tim Boyum is in Rayford, where the public memorial will get underway in just about an hour. Tim, we know that the hearse has arrived there at the funeral home. What's the scene like now?
It is a heavy morning here, Jonathan, no question about that. As you mentioned, the hearse just arrived here about 10 or 15 minutes ago. As you can see, a huge line of people already gathered here. That public viewing will take place for about 2 hours, from 11 o'clock until 1 o'clock. People have been lined up for about 10, 15 minutes since that hearse arrived. The sheriff has played a big role in that. We're going to talk to him here in a moment. He's actually helping with someone right now. Sheriff Hubert Peterkin, he has been a big part of playing this. Sheriff, first of all, this has been heavy. I mean, you're an African American and a sheriff. How are your emotions today trying to wrap your head around this?
Well, ever since the first day I heard about it, I've been hurt. I've cried. You know, like you said, being an African American, a black man, people got to understand, when stuff like this happens, our community looks at us out of two different sets of eyes. They don't, first of all, and I will say that the black is the most feared community of law enforcement. So being a black officer, they look at us, they don't trust us, you're black. Then they look at the fact that you are black, and then they question it.
Our Spectrum News crews have been in Rayford all day talking with the community. Our David Ivey spoke with people who traveled from all across the county to be there today. Our Mary Helen Jones was inside that private memorial. But we start things off with our Spectrum News anchor, Tim Boyum, with a recap of the day. Tim, any one or two moments that really stuck with you?
Well, the biggest moment that stuck with me was when we were standing here waiting for the service to start. The family had just arrived. Some of them started going in. And then two siblings of George Floyd just started to make their way toward us, slowly but surely. And they really just started talking. They said, look, we can't go inside and see our brother George sitting in that casket again. And so they let the family go inside, and they just started talking to us. And so, Rob, it was a week ago right now that I was getting ready to go downtown to cover the Raleigh protests, which eventually became the Raleigh riots. We had tear gas in our eyes and tears. And then today, to see the body of George Floyd in that casket in person with tears of mourners here in Rayford, North Carolina, 20 minutes away from where George Floyd was born. It's been a remarkable week. The question is, what now? Rob?
And I think that is everyone's question, Tim, because...
All right, Gary, thank you very much. We continue to follow a very serious situation on Ocracoke Island. As you can see, there are helicopters being deployed to assist evacuations on this tiny island. We believe hundreds of people may be trapped on this island. Now, if we can come back out to me, I want to show you here, for those of you that might be new to North Carolina, this is Raleigh right here. This is Wilmington down here, Corolla up here. This is Ocracoke right there. It's just a little island right there. I want to show you on satellite here. It is a tiny island, but you can see there's an airport right there. You can see roads. And so there's about 948 people that are permanent residents on this island. They believe as many as 800 people might be there. It is primary election night. The ballots are cast, and now we know some of who will move on to the November election. Those results coming in fast and furious. Good evening. Right. I'm Tim Boyum.
And I'm Tara Hershaft.
Good evening and welcome to Hurricane Florence Lessons Learned. I'm Tim Boyum. We are coming to you tonight from downtown Fair Bluff. It's in the southeastern part of North Carolina in Columbus County, just north of the South Carolina line. And over the course of the next hour, we're going to talk to our chief meteorologist about why we saw so much rain with these storms, and also with state leaders about what we've learned from those past storms and what we can do to better prepare for the future. So what should we do with towns like this moving forward? Should we supply them all the money that they need to rebuild, or should we move the downtowns? Joining us now is Mayor Billy Hammond, who is the mayor of this town. Sir, thank you.
Good to see you.